So finding your comfortable position. If you're lying down, keeping the legs straight or bent, whichever feels more comfortable. If you're sitting up, because of the seated position, try to see if you can create a space at the front. So see if I can sit up a little bit taller, a little bit higher, encouraging the diaphragm, encouraging a little bit more movement into the diaphragm, so allowing the belly to expand with the inhalation and relax with the exhalation. The shoulders are relaxed, and the neck is relaxed. If I'm lying down, I'm going to encourage the hands to turn so that the palms are facing to the ceiling, feeling the shoulder rolling out to the front of the chest, opening up a little bit more, relaxing a little bit more. And then just focusing on the breath, and notice where the breath is. I can feel the breath at the top of the chest this morning. I feel almost like in that panic breath coming on. So see if I can try and calm the breath down, encouraging the breath to drop down into the belly, the neck, the front of the chest, and the shoulders to soften and relax. And at the same time, just noticing how the body feels. I feel a bit twisted today. I don't feel very even, or there is a bit of tension. It's a bit of a niggle on the shoulder or on the back. I'm not changing anything, just noticing where I am to begin with. Then once you feel a little bit more settled, you feel that the breath feels that little bit more relaxed, I'm going to start focusing on the neck. I'm going to start off just with a gentle rotation side to side. So I'm going to turn the head to look over one way, come back to the center. I'm going to turn the head to look the other, come back to the center. I'm going to turn one way, back to the center, and then over to the other side. And then keeping the movement going, noticing the movement is the same as usual. As I turn to the right, it feels a bit more restricted. As I turn to the left, it feels easier. I can see one shoulder is moving back when I'm turning. See if I can hold the shoulder nice and still. I can feel that my chin tends to drop or tends to lift when I turn in one direction. See if I can picture a little shelf in front of me. See if I can run the chin on top of the shelf as I turn one way, and then same as I turn the other. 4, 3, 2, 1. Using the head back to the middle, I'm going to keep the head nice and still, and then this time I'm just going to try and work on the eye muscle. What I want, without turning the head, I want to try and look to the right, as far to the right as you can see. So I'm just going to keep looking to the right, and then noticing if you want to turn the head, try to keep the head center. I'm going to hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bringing the gaze back to the middle, allowing it to reset. And then I'm going to try the same thing, but this time looking to the left. So I'm going to try and look as far to the left as I can without turning the head. So the head is still fixed in the middle. It's just my eyes that are moving to look over to the side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the gaze back to the front, allowing it to reset. And then same as before, I'm just going to start turning the head from one over to the other side. Just notice if it feels any different. You might find that the rotation feels a little bit easier. I might even be able to turn the head a little bit further. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back to the middle. Then from rotation, I'm going to move into flexion extension. So getting into a little skull rock. I'm going to tuck the chin into the throat, pressing the back of the neck towards the floor below or to the wall behind me. And then I'm going to lift the chin up. I'm going to try and look forward, look up, and see if I can create a gentle lift, a nice stretch down the front of the throat. Then I'm going to release. I'm going to press the back of the neck into the wall behind, tucking the chin in as if I was trying to give myself a double chin. And then I'm going to lift, look up, look back, and try to lengthen through the front of the throat. And then coming back, and then I'm going to press back again. So see if I can create a little bit more movement into the neck, making sure that especially as you're looking up and behind, there is no pinching at the back of the neck. So there's no pain, there is no referred pain down the arms, so there's no tingling into the fingertips, and there is no tingling down the arms. And then same as usual, finger stretching through the front of the throat. Think of the tongue, it's a muscle too. If I push the tongue to the roof of my mouth as I'm looking up, as I'm looking back, I can feel a little bit of a better stretch going down the front of the throat. So see if I can play with the position, play with the stretch, noticing I personally feel the right side is a little bit tighter than the left. So I can feel a slightly stronger pull down the right side. So I'm just going to focus on the pull a little bit more. 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, returning the head to the middle, resetting it to the middle, and then keeping the head on the ground if you're lying down. This time I'm going to try and see if I can vary that direction of the movement. So imagine a little pencil strapped to the tip of the nose. I'm going to start drawing circles with that pencil in front of me without exaggerating the movement. But see if you can try and create a nice rounded movement, a nice gentle movement with the head. There might be some clicking. As far as there is no pain with the clicking, I'm going to keep the movement going. If I feel there is pain with the clicking, I'm just going to ease off on the size of the movement to draw in a slightly smaller circle, round and round. Reverse in the circle. I'm going to try a few the other way. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Returning the head back to the middle. Cervical spine is a little bit warmer. I'm going to drop down into the thoracic as it's trying to work into the upper back. I'm going to start off with a little flexion extension. So pushing the chest forward to see if I can try and arch the back of the rib cage. As somebody suddenly put their hands between my shoulder blades and was pushing them forward, trying to lift them up. Then I'm going to release. I'm going to push the shoulders back into the mat, back into the chair, and then I'm going to lift up again. So see if you can in turn think of the hand pushing against the front of the chest and then pushing against the back of the rib cage, pushing against the front of the chest, pushing against the back of the rib cage. So I'm going to push my rib cage into the mat, and then I'm going to try and lift it away from the mat, pushing it into the mat, and then lifting it away from the mat. If you're seated, you've got a little bit more space to play with. So especially going into flexion, as you're pushing the rib cage back, see if you can try and push it to the point where you can feel a nice stretch going right around the shoulders into the middle of the back. And then I'm going to reverse and come forward. If you're lying down, if you want to make the stretch a little bit stronger, you can take the head up with you. So I'm going to extend, trying to lift the back of the rib cage off, and then I'm going to flex, trying to lift the head and the shoulders off the mat. And I'm going to extend, push the rib cage up, and then pressing the rib cage down, lifting the head and the shoulders off the mat. So encouraging a little bit of tension at the front of the belly too. So trying to see if I can encourage that movement. Extension into flexion. 3, 2. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. From flexion extension, I'm going to go into lateral flexion. So I'm going to move sideways. So if I'm lying down, I might want to use one hand to support the head, taking it with me. So with one hand, I'm going to reach down the side as if I was trying to reach towards the hip, towards the foot. Come back, I'm going to switch the arms, and then I'm going to reach down the other side. Come back, and then reach down the other way. If I'm seated, I don't need to support the head as the head is on top of the shoulders. I'm just going to try and see if I can reach down the side, come back to the center, and then down the other way. Same as usual, especially if you're seated, as I don't have anything behind me, because the back of the chair is probably too far away and it normally leans back slightly. Imagine to be sitting with your back against the wall. I want my head, my shoulders, and my hips to stay against the wall as I'm moving from side to side. So see if you can be aware of the movement happening sideways this time. Not forward, not backwards, but sideways. So little sets of pulleys down the side of the belly. One is lengthening, one is shortening so that I can move down one way. One is lengthening, one is shortening so that I can move down the other. So see if I can be aware of the tension on the side of the belly, helping me to create that little movement to side. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back, adjusting yourself back to that center. And then from lateral flexion, I'm going to go into little rotation. So raising the arms to the front, or clasping the hands together, or keeping the hands apart. I'm going to start to rotate side to side. So I'm going to swing the arms over to the right, as far to the right as I can, coming back to center and then over to the left. So from one to the other, from one to the other side. So same as usual, think of rolling the shoulders from side to side if you're lying down on the back. The head is staying nice and relaxed. Turning it to follow the arms around, just making sure that the movement doesn't make you feel dizzy, doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. If I'm sitting up, imagine to be reaching behind the chair. Don't reach for your seatbelt. So I'm going to try and reach as far back as I can. Swing forward, reach as far back as I can the other way. Swing forward, reach as far back as I can. And then to the other side again. So maintaining the lift through the chest, maintaining that lift into the chin. See if I can create a nice reach across, a nice reach across the other way. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back again, bringing yourself back to the center. And then I'm going to change the direction one more time. I'm going to start combining the rotation and the flexion together. So if I'm seated up, I'm just going to rotate again, but this time, instead of trying to reach for my seat belt, I'm going to try and reach forward towards the opposite knee. So I'm going to reach forward and down, then come back, and then reach forward and down the other way. If I'm lying down, same. With my right hand, I'm going to try and reach towards the left knee, come back with the left to the right. And then if you feel comfortable enough and you want to progress slightly, you can take the head with you. So I'm going to lift the head, see if I can reach a little bit higher to one knee, come back, and then see if I can reach a little bit further the other way. So if you have a nice tension, still working down the side of the belly, but this time is crossing the belly instead of working on the same side. So I'm going to cross one way, come back to the center, cross the other, come back to the center, cross the other, come back to the center again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back, bringing yourself back to the center again. And then this time I'm going to try and focus on the lower back more. I'm going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So same as I was doing with the rib cage earlier, this time I'm just going to try and do it with my lower back. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to press my lower back into the back of the mat and then tilting it forward back into neutral. So I'm going to press down and then I'm going to lift up. Press down and then lift up. If I'm seated, exactly the same as before, but see if I can try and keep the focus down at the bottom of the spine. So instead of exaggerating the movement with the rib cage with the chest, see if I can try and keep it down into the hips. So I'm going to curl my tailbone under, I'm going to round my lower back, and then see if I can pick myself up and then sit nice and tall over the seat base. Then again, I'm going to curl under, I'm going to drop down onto the lower back, and then I'm going to lift up. So see if I can think of the movement coming from the hips a little bit more. So tilting and then coming back. Tilting and then coming back. And then this time, see if you can be aware of a gentle tension right at the front of the belly. So I can feel the belly pulling the pelvis into that little tilt and then lengthening back out again. Shortening to tilt and then lengthening to come back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, again adjusting the lower back, adjusting the hips. So from flexion extension, I'm going to move into a little bit of a hip hitch, so into a little lateral flexion. So the opposite to what I did before. Instead of trying to drop it down towards the hip, I want to keep the rib cage still. I want my hip to lift up towards my rib cage. So I'm going to try and hitch my right hip up and then drop it back, left hip up and then drop it back. So if I'm sitting down, it's as if I was trying to lift my right seat bone off the ground and then trying to lift that left seat bone off the chair. If I'm lying down, so you can think of a nice, easy shifting from side to side. So I can feel again the side of the belly tensing, but this time instead of tensing to pull the rib cage down towards the hip, it's tensing to pull the hip up towards the rib cage. And then releasing and pulling the other way. Releasing and pulling the other way. 10, 9, 8, finding a breath that works for you. 7, make sure you're not holding the breath. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, resetting the hips back to the middle, adjusting the hips, adjusting the pelvis. There's a little bit more movement down the lower back too. I'm going to see if I can start getting into the shoulder joint and into the hip joint. So starting with the arms first, I'm going to start raising the right arm up to the front. I'm just going to go for a front raise. I'm going to lift it aside, reach it as far as I feel comfortable on the shoulder. I'm going to pull back that right arm, and then I'm going to reach back with the left. Then come back with the left. I'm going to lift to the right, come back with the right, and then move the left. So it doesn't matter how small or big the lift is. It could be a very little lift, it could be a very big lift. Just to see if you can try and find a movement that involves the least amount of effort. So I don't want the neck to stiffen, I don't want the upper body to tense, I don't want the upper body to tighten up. I want to keep it as loose, as relaxed as possible. So the neck feels loose, I can move my head from side to side as the arm is lifting and lowering. So it doesn't feel as if the neck is just locking and holding. The neck feels loose. I can move my head. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the upper back, allowing the arms to have a little rest. And then this time I'm going to focus on one leg. So same as usual, if you know that you don't have a very good control over the leg, then I'm going to put my band, my strap around the back of the leg. Just hold it with the hands if I'm seated, so that I can control the leg a little bit better. If I don't need that, I'm just going to leave the leg as it is. And then I'm going to start coming up onto the ball of the foot to see if I can lift the big toe off the ground. Then I'm going to put the foot back down, and then I'm going to lift it again. So this time, again, it doesn't matter if it's small, but see if you can think of the femur, the leg bone, the thigh bone, moving into the hip socket to create that lift. So see if I can be aware of the movement happening in my hip joint. So it's not my back rolling, it's not the body rocking. See if I can think of the hip closing. I can feel a little tension at the front of the hip that is allowing the leg to come up. And then I'm just going to pop it back down. Using the arms to give me that little extra help. If I feel that the leg feels quite stiff, it feels quite heavy, I don't seem to be able to lift it very easily. To see if I can encourage a little movement using the arms. I'm trying to get the hip joint to relax a little bit more, to move a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the other side. So if you need the band, the strap, or popping the strap around the back of the leg. And then same as I did on the other side, I'm going to try and see if I can get the lift going on this side, on this leg. So same as before, think of the hip closing, the front of the hip tensing to create that little lift, and then easing that leg back down. The front of the belly assisting that lift. So see if you can notice, I can feel my hip tensing, but I can also feel a little tension into the side of the belly on that same side to help me prevent the pelvis from twisting, the body from being pulled by the weight of the leg. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing down, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg is a little bit more connection into the front of the hip too. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. Starting with the arms, I'm going to reach one arm straight up to the front, 5 arms if you want to. I'm going to open the right arm out to the right, as if I was trying to reach my fingertips to the side of the room, come back to the center, and then with the left, I'm going to pull to the left. Then come back to the center, with the right, I'm going to pull to the right, come back to the center, and then left to pulls to the left. Again, it could be a little opening, it could be a big opening. Imagine somebody grabbing hold of your arm and really try to pull it off to the side. So see if I can encourage a nice opening, a nice stretch across the front of the chest. Keeping the arm low. If I feel that the arm is a little bit too heavy, especially sitting down, the shoulder starts getting overloaded and the neck tends to stiffen up, tends to scrunch up. So maybe keeping the arm a little bit lower, and then see if I can encourage that reach to open up through the chest. And then I'm going to try and reach the same to the other side. If you're laying down, making sure that the shoulders are staying on the mat. It's just the arm opening and closing the other way. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. I'm going to go back into the hips, into the legs. This time, instead of lifting, I'm going to open and close the leg. So focusing on the right leg, I'm going to start opening the right leg out to the right, as far to the right as I feel in control of the leg, and then I'm going to squeeze it back in again. Same leg, same movement. I'm going to open the right leg and close it back. Same as usual, if you feel that the movement is quite stiff, so again, I don't have a very good control of the leg, I could use the hands to help me. So I might push the leg out with my hand and then squeeze the leg back in. Might find that I'm struggling to bring the leg back, so I can push it out, but then I'm struggling to return. I'm going to use the hand to help me return back. So I could use it to push out, and then I could use it to come back. So same as I did on the knee lift, to see if this time I can try and encourage a nice side in and out movement. So still warming up, but still working into the hip joint to see if I can ease off some of the tension, some of the stiffness from the hip, the inner thigh, the side of the hip and the groin. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing, but with the left side. So again, adjusting the position if you need to. I'm going to start opening my left knee out to the left, controlling it out, and then I'm just going to squeeze it back in again. So I'm going to open and close. Same as on the other side, using the hand to encourage a little bit more movement or encourage a little bit more support if I need to. See if I can just picture the leg, the top of the leg moving into the hip socket. Just trying to ease off some of the tension from the groin, from the hip on that left side. So open it and close it back. Open it and close it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. So hip is a little bit warmer, shoulder is a little bit warmer. I'm going to try and see if I can start coordinating the arms and the legs. So resetting, same position as before, the knees are bent, legs are reasonably close together. Imagine your hands and the legs are connected by strings. So my right hand is connected to my right leg, my left hand is connected to my left leg. So I'm going to start puppeting my legs. I'm going to lift up with the right arm, and then I'm going to see if I can take the right leg up with me, then come back down, and then pulling with the left arm, see if I can take the left leg with me, and then come back. So with the right arm, I'm going to pull on the right leg and come back. With the left arm, I'm going to pull on the left leg and come back. So noticing the movement, I might find that the connection is good on one side, so I can lift my right arm and my right leg. I can't lift my left arm and my left leg. So my left leg doesn't want to move, it seems to be struggling. See if you can, same as you did when you were just focusing on the leg on its own. Think of that, try to find that same feel of the hip closing. So I'm trying to close my right hip when my right arm comes up, and then I'm going to open it back. I'm going to try and close my left hip when my left arm comes up, and then open it back. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the hips, releasing the shoulders. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. This time I'm going to go for that knee dropper for the side opening. Same, opposite arm and leg. So as my right leg opens to the right, with my left arm, I'm going to reach to the left. Then I'm going to close everything back to the middle. With my right arm goes to the right. With my left leg, I'm going to try and open to the left and then come back to the middle. So I'm going to try and open and close. Open and close. And then same as before, I might find that when my right arm opens, my left leg doesn't want to move, or when my right arm opens, my left leg doesn't want to move. Same as before. So if you can try and remember that feel of the thigh bone moving in and out into the hip socket. See if I can try and get a little bit of a, even a twitch is good to try and get the direction, find the connection. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the hips and releasing the legs. I'm going to go back into that front raise, but this time, instead of working the same side, so instead of puppeting the legs with the arm on the same side, I'm going to try and switch my strings and cross them over. So as my right arm goes up, I want to lift my left leg and then pop it back. As my left arm comes up, I'm going to lift my right leg and then come back. So I'm going to try and lift opposite sides and pop them back, opposite sides, and then pop them down. And then notice the movement. Sometimes people are feeling more comfortable when they lift the same side. Sometimes they feel more comfortable when they lift across. So a leg that might not come up when I'm lifting same arm and same leg might actually lift quite easily if I'm lifting opposite arm and leg. So just noticing if there is any different, if it feels any easier or any harder to move. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hips, releasing the shoulders, and then I'm going to change the effort for the lateral opening too. So this time, instead of going opposite arm and leg opening, I'm going to open the same side. So I'm going to reach out with the right arm, open out my right knee, close back to center, and then I'm going to open that left arm and the left knee. Come back to center, right arm, right leg, back to center, and then left arm, left leg, and then back to center again. And then same as I did for the front raise, noticing any difference. Again, I might find that it feels easier or it's a lot harder. I'm just going to try and focus both right and left side to see if I can get the movement all the way to the left side of the body and then all the way to the right side of the body. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back. Releasing the hips, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the legs. There's a little bit more movement. Hip hopefully feels a little bit warmer both right and left side. I'm going to try and see if I can create a little bit more connection into the back of the leg and the back of the bum. So this time, instead of working in flexion or hip abduction, adduction, I'm going to try and work in extension. So I want the hip to open up. So I'm going to set my feet a comfortable distance, pushing down through the soles of the feet. I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum, and then I'm going to try and see if I can open up. And then I'm going to ease back down. So if you're seated, imagine to be lifting off the chair. And then I'm just going to drop it back. Even a tiny little lift, it doesn't matter. Just to see if I can think of the back of the bum, giving me the little squeeze to lift off. If you're lying down, you're going to come up into bridge. So same. I might lift the hips slightly. I might be able to lift them up higher. See if I can try and get that nice full opening both on the right and the left hip. And then I'm just going to ease my way back down again. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last time. And releasing back, relaxing the leg, making sure that the back of the leg doesn't feel too stiff, it doesn't feel too tight. And then I'm going to change the direction of the movement one more time. This time I'm going to try and see if I can use all 4 limbs at the same time. I'm going to reset the position in the middle. And then this time I'm going to try and open both arms and both legs. I'm going to reach the arms forward. I want the arms and the legs to open out. And then I'm going to close everything in. So I'm going to open out and then squeeze everything back together. So again, notice the movement. Now that I'm moving all 4 limbs, I might find that because everything is doing the same, it might feel a bit easier. So I can feel that my legs seems to be moving a little bit better. I seems to be having a little bit more control there. Making sure that no matter how big or small the movement is, I'm not forcing it, so I'm not creating pinching in the hip or catching discomfort into the shoulder. 5, squeeze and back. 4, squeeze and back. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, and then last one, we're going to try and see if we can get the brain to go with the body. So I'm going to try and do the opposite between the upper and the lower body. So the arms open, the legs close. The arms close, the legs open. So I'm going to open the arms, squeeze the legs in, open the legs, squeeze the arms in. Open the arms, squeeze the legs together. Open the legs, squeeze the arms together. So see if I can try and find that coordination. Brain, body, 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the legs. And then when you're ready, no matter if you're lying down or sitting up, I'm going to take the legs to the right. And then I'm just going to rotate the body over to the left. Just to see if I can create a nice gentle stretch that kind of like spiral around the body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back, taking both legs to the left. And then I'm going to try and reach the body to the right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release and back. Adjusting the shoulders, releasing the hips. So when you're ready, rolling over onto one side. And in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. So finding the seat bones to see if I can try and get myself into a nice upright position, using the arms to offer a little support at the back if I feel that. I feel I'm leaning backwards a lot. I don't feel safe taking my hands away. And then from there, I'm going to try and see if I can start opening up to the front. So pushing the chest forward, rolling the shoulders back. I'm going to start lifting the head, lifting the chest, looking forward, looking up, looking back. See if I can create that nice lift to the front of the body. And then I'm just going to ease my way forward, dropping the chin down, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the back. I'm going to let myself drop as far forward as I feel comfortable as I can. And then coming back again. Pushing the chest forward, lifting the ribcage, lifting the head, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing, coming forward. Allowing the chin to drop down to the chest, the shoulders to come forward, the body to roll forward, drop down. Last time. Extending up, looking forward, looking up, looking back. Try to create that nice space at the front of the body. And then releasing it, coming forward. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap. Well done. Any question or anything as usual, please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself